Welcome to the Mukilteo Football Show. My name is Miles.
And my name's Kirk.
Our eighth
We're at the
and
end.
final
Yeah.
division 2024 NFL preview. We're just going division by division, picking the win total over-unders for each team.
It's beautiful.
And we saved the best for last, I think.
Oh, yes.
The most narratively rich.
Seriously, like these four teams have just been getting talked about so much this offseason.
The NFC North, the Lions, Packers, Bears, and Vikings.
Woo.
A lot of excitement.
And we're almost there, folks. It's almost August. We're going to see some bad preseason games.
Yep.
And then we're there. Oh,
And
can't you smell it?
we gotta can't you smell it? Ah, the fresh cut grass or freshly sprayed AstroTurf.
The freshly sprayed AstroTurf. Aesthetically pleasing fields.
The preseason games are bad. The need to make stories out of nothing
Yes.
is bad. That's my least favorite part about August.
Oh, yeah.
You know how much crazy stuff happens during the season that we don't even report on? It's just like the season is like a fire hose of information. August is like when the hose isn't even on and you're just obsessing over every little drip that is coming out of it prematurely.
I like that. That's a good analogy right there.
I'm a specialty in analysis. All right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Detroit Lions.
Let's jump in.
12-5 last year, 10.5 over under this year. They have playoff wins in 1957, 1991, and 2023. Will they win one before 2055?
Quite the gap. And I don't know, if you're a betting man, I might want to go on the later.
Yeah. So you over under 2055 next playoff run, you go over.
Yeah. Maybe. It's amazing that we're talking about Detroit Lions as like Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, growing up our whole lives, Detroit was just the joke of the NFL.
Yeah, I searched back. So on Pro Football Reference, you can go back to through each team back to 1989 and see their preseason over-unders.
Okay.
And the Lions have never in our lifetimes been over 9 over-under.
Wow.
And yeah, now there's 17 games and stuff like that, but still they've never been over 9.
That's hard to do.
Yeah, and the only time they were at 9 was 1992 after their 1991
where they won
playoff victory.
They won their one playoff
game.
And they doubled it this year. Good job, guys.
But
yeah, they're running it back this year.
They really are. They're securing pieces. They signed Amon-Ra St. Brown to a long-term contract. They signed Penei Sewell, their left tackle. They signed Taylor Decker, their right tackle. And they signed Jared Goff to a contract that is honestly big money.
Yeah. They're like, Goff's our guy.
Did you ever see this coming when the Goff-Stafford trade happened, that they just...
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't in the narrative. It was like, this is just our bridge quarterback until we draft one. That was kind of the idea. But Goff has definitely exceeded expectations. I mean, he came out his first 7 games, he was like 0-7 for Detroit. Right. It was awful. And everyone's like, okay, let's draft a guy.
Yeah.
But, you know, he's meshed with Dan Campbell. He's meshed with Detroit. They love him. Yeah. I mean, they're all about him. So he's going to stick around. He's going to be a Detroit Lion. We're going to remember him more as a Lion than a Ram.
Yeah, I agree with you. He will be remembered as a Lion, not a Ram. That's crazy to even think about now, because he had 2 great years as the
made a
beginning
Super Bowl
of
with
the
the
McVay.
Rams. Yeah.
Like, I would have never thought this would happen, and I hesitate to say it's a good thing to invest everything to Jared Goff. Like, if they could just upgrade from Jared Goff, I would pencil them in for a Super Bowl, even though they're Lions.
Yeah.
But, I mean, how do you do that? You don't not, like, you're signing Jared Goff because not signing him leaves you to the cold. It's not that franchise quarterbacks don't just grow on trees. You can't just say, actually, we'll take Joe Burrow. They can't do that.
Yeah.
Even if they drafted Caleb Williams, that might not be an upgrade. You sign Kirk Cousins in free agency, that might not be an upgrade. So knowing the uncertainty that's out there, I can see the Jared Goff signing.
Yeah.
And it was like the headlines were highest contract in NFL history. Well, those headlines were like 6 weeks ago, and now it's like the 6th highest contract.
I know.
Reporters.
We got to quit talking about that.
Yeah, you corporate shills, propaganda for agents and teams, stop giving us the numbers as if the benevolent owners are giving so much money to the players.
You know what I've heard every offseason for the last 2 decades? Is this quarterback's the highest paid quarterback in the history of the NFL. It happens every single year because the number just keeps going up.
The salary cap is going up because of the TV deal. Like
we shouldn't be surprised by any of this.
The networks paid $110 billion.
Say that again.
$110 billion.
With a B.
dollars to carry the NFL for the next decade. Yeah, the quarterback contracts are going up like $5 million a year.
Like no crap. Of course it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, geez, what were we expecting?
I know. God. Like Tua, Jordan Love, they both, you know. And everything's fake, too. All the money's fake.
Oh, yeah. It's a 5-year contract. It's really like a 2-year. I mean, it's not.
And if they say guaranteed, that's nothing. It has to say fully guaranteed. Yeah.
That's got to be the dumbest thing in contracts in history.
But anyway, my point was, it was right to sign Goff. Yeah. And it wasn't crazy to sign him to the quote-unquote third highest in NFL history. Like that. You know,
he's been efficient. I mean, he's fine. He's a good game manager. He's not like scrambling around. He's a good pocket passer while the league has gone more rushing, scrambling passers. Like, it's a good idea.
And if I was Goff, I'd want to be here.
Oh, yeah.
With a great offensive line. We just talked about Sewell and Decker.
Best offensive line in the league.
I agree with you. Yeah, now that the Browns have kind of trailed off a little bit and lost Bill Callahan, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Great offensive line. They got 3 eyebrow raiser ball carriers. When they get the ball, you go, oh, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah.
Arguably David Montgomery when he's healthy. This is a great place to be. And they're keeping their offensive coordinator. That guy, he keeps Johnson.
Ben Johnson, man.
Keeps sticking around.
Yeah. He's like, I'm going to win it for Detroit. Yeah. I like the loyalty. I like that coordinators are like, I'm not just going to go take the job when I'm not prepared for it.
I don't think they do that for many people other than Dan Campbell, though.
Yeah.
I think that's a testament to Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell's awesome. And everybody loves Dan Campbell now.
I love him.
But I got to admit, he might just shoot these guys in the foot a few times.
Yeah?
He just gambles too much.
Oh, don't tell me you're against the 4th down thing.
Oh, there's a few of them.
Okay.
There's a few of them. Like,
there is.
Okay, the first 4th down in the third quarter of the Niner game, it's middle of the third quarter, just kick the freaking field goal. You're still up 17. Yeah. That one, yes.
Even analytics says to do that.
So the Cowboys game, when you got the stupid penalty and then you still go for 2, just tie the game and go into friggin' overtime. Like, what are you doing?
Well,
he gambles a little too much because he says I was going to do that. Like, you have to throw an audible in there every now and then.
But they don't even get to the Niners game if they don't go for it on 4th down instead of kicking a field goal against the Rams.
Yeah.
They do that against the Bucks as well. He decided a way to play and he played that way. He didn't try and mix and match it.
I get it. Just reel it back a little bit.
He might adjust for this year.
Just reel it back a little bit. Quit trying to catch the great white and just catch a marlin.
Yeah. I still think they did not lose the NFC title game because of his 4th downs. They lost because they couldn't catch the ball.
Josh Reynolds,
the guy who would have picked, like, after that 4th down play, when they're up 17, they didn't kick the field goal. They throw a bomb down there that the Lions DB just drops.
Yeah.
It should have been an interception. Then Jahmyr Gibbs fumbled and Reynolds drops another one.
Got out of hand.
And then McCaffrey starts running for 40 yards a carry. And people say, well, that's why you take the field goal, because McCaffrey's running for 40 yards a carry. I would argue, if your defense is giving up like 50-yard runs, maybe you should get more points, not less.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I don't mind the 4th downs. I can see, though,
just reel it
maybe
back
dial it
just a little bit.
Set the plan a little bit less aggressive. And you can do that when your defense is better.
Yes.
And that's what I think has happened here. Of course, we've talked about this many times. Team preview catnip. New names. We got new names to talk about. They were bad. The Lions were bad at the passing game. They couldn't defend the pass. So they traded for Carlton Davis from Tampa Bay.
Yep.
They signed a couple guys. They used their 1st-round pick and their 2nd-round pick on corners. Team preview catnip. Oh, let it wash over you. New names.
Yes, this will fix all of our problems. Just because how they were rated.
Yeah.
But the defense, I mean, it got a little bit better from the year before.
Yeah.
So
it was really bad the year before.
It's been improving, and it was, absolutely atrocious for decades. So it's getting there because their offense is keeping them in games. So and just the Jack Campbell or Dan Campbell culture. Jack Campbell's the middle linebacker. Sorry.
Jack Campbell.
But yeah, I mean,
young pieces.
It's getting there. They brought in Marcus Davenport. I like that to complement Hutchinson there.
Yeah, we just talked about this with Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
Hutchinson, he can be as elite as he wants to be. You need someone else on the other side. You have to have it.
Yeah, and I've been waiting for that defensive line pressure to really confuse some teams. Like that's kind of what they've been missing. But I think if games are close, I mean, I'm trusting Campbell to pull it off.
Yeah.
It just the whole thing relies on the defense, though.
Yeah.
I have no concerns about the offense.
Me neither, not without offensive line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all just like, how can they actually stop teams? Because as I've said in just quite a few of these podcasts now, all these division episodes, you're no longer the hunter, you're the hunted. And we're talking about the Detroit Lions. Let me say that again. The Detroit Lions as a Super Bowl contender. Like, I never thought we'd get here. And I'm just going to, throw some caution to the wind here. We all thought Jacksonville was going to be great when they went to an AFC championship game.
Oh, yeah, 2017.
Yeah, we all thought they'd be great. The Cardinals had a few good runs. Carson Palmer went to an NFC championship game. We thought they would be fantastic because they can just run it back. Look at this team. They're great. Let's not just throw these guys up there with fantastic franchises like the Steelers winning every year and the Packers and, Cowboys are always kind of getting there. I mean, just let's just take a step back and be like, this is still Detroit, folks.
But they're winning the Super Bowl this year.
Oh my!
No,
I'm rooting for them.
I'm rooting for them too.
They've never made it, so
I feel like Dan Campbell agrees with you.
Yeah,
for real, not coach speak at the podium, but I feel remember when the story came out before the NFC title game against the 49ers, he was in the locker room and he said to the players, "You might never be back here again."
Yeah,
that kind of honesty and authenticity is what you can sense it from Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
And you don't get it from a lot of coaches. I mean, there's so much bull.
Oh yeah.
out there.
We'll give you the speech that you've heard 1,000 times.
Yeah.
But he's real. He's like, we're family. This is what we're doing. You might not be here next year.
Yeah.
As a Lion or in that position.
Yeah. And I think from that, he's uniquely positioned to be able to lead this team this year. He's like, I told you you might not be back.
Oh yeah.
And let's work hard. And he has said this, and every coach says this, but it seems like he means it. We are only defined by our work this year.
Yeah.
Nothing we did matters.
Yeah. And I love coaches like that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good coach. It's just gonna come down to they avoided the injury bug last year. That was fantastic. But it comes down to defense for me. This team, is Aaron Glenn actually a good coordinator? Can they continue to make the rise to becoming a good defense?
Well, what do you think? Over under 10.5.
I think being hunted this year, I think they're going to go lower than that.
Okay.
I can see this more as a wild card Lions team rather than a division, one seed or something like that. I think they're going to struggle a little bit. I think they're going to have a few problems in there. Just I don't know what they are yet. I can't give you a great analysis, but we're talking Detroit.
Yeah, no,
we're talking Detroit. We were happy for Cleveland a few times. There's just teams that you want to be happy for. They all look the exact same. You think you can run it back, and it just doesn't go to plan. So
listen,
I'm cautiously. I am picking them. At 10 wins, 9 wins, 10 wins I can see. Okay. 11, I mean, it's questionable. It's a good number.
Yeah.
But just because...
They know what they're doing.
Just because I've known Detroit so long, I'm going under.
I mean, I want to take the under because of what you're talking about. The dark,
the history.
Cruel nature of this world. The ultimate meaninglessness of this path that we all walk towards the everlasting void. But I'm going the over, damn it.
Going over?
Dan Campbell is the difference.
Yeah.
Who was the coach for the Cardinals when Carson Palmer or the Bengals? A bunch of Marvin Lewis, bunch of hacks, bunch of rubes. Dan Campbell is authentic, sincere, and by the way, he has something that those fluke teams don't have. Offensive line. Beef.
Boom.
Whenever things don't make sense, you look to the offensive line. If those guys stay healthy, the Lions are fine. They're gliding to 11 wins, baby.
And the weapons on offense. I mean, the offensive line stays healthy. They're going to be put up some points. Yeah. Jahmyr Gibbs, breakout year. Jameson Williams finally going to be healthy and get a full year in him.
Yeah, so get his head strong and straight.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk Packers.
Mm-hmm.
And the worst scenario for the Lions is that the Packers are suddenly good again. Packed 9-8 last year, 9.5 over under this year.
9.5?
9.5. They've extended Jordan Love.
Yeah.
And Jordan Love's in all sorts of top 10 quarterback rankings.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
getting a little overrated.
Yeah, I was going to say, how do we feel about this?
Yeah. He got paid. Happy for him. Yep. He had a good second half of the year. Happy for him. Does anybody remember the first half of that year?
Yeah.
It was looking ugly. It was looking bleak.
Packer fans were saying fire everyone.
Yeah.
Because they hadn't had a bad quarterback in 30 years.
And they went on a good run. They smoked the Cowboys, which is what everybody remembers. Right. You know, and you competed with the 49ers.
Oh, I was rooting for them so hard.
But all you got to do is look at that last pass Jordan Love threw and went like, oh my God.
Like pouring down rain.
Go back and look at some like actual Jordan Love highlights of his touchdowns. They're not great throws. They're Brett Favre throws. They are in coverage. Like these things could easily be intercepted. Like these are bold decisions.
Yeah. And I think I like Love's aggressiveness.
Oh, I do too.
And I like his pairing with Matt LaFleur, but I do agree with you. It was wildly inconsistent.
Yeah.
And this is our specialty here at the Mukilteo Football Show, history. You know, we like to bring up history within the ups and downs of the season. 1993, after Brett Favre's first year, people were saying, and I looked up the 1993 Green Bay Packers preview. There's
deep analysis.
I did. It's his brilliance, electrifying play. He's the future of the NFL. It wasn't a slow burn like he could build on that.
Yeah.
Brett Favre was immediately known. This is kind of like the Justin Fields thing I was saying in the AFC North.
If you're good, you're already good.
You're good. And if you go to the NFL previews, Google them, 2009 Green Bay Packers, the 1 year after Aaron Rodgers' first year, it says Packers offense was elite, still elite, fifth in points. Aaron Rodgers is a franchise player. They are immediately and unquestionably better. They have the best quarterback, immediately and unquestionably better than Jay Cutler. That is Aaron Rodgers after 1 year.
Yeah.
It was not a slow burn. It wasn't this Tua, Justin Fields bullshit.
They'll figure it out eventually.
He's
Trevor Lawrence.
Taking steps. Trevor Lawrence. He's taking steps. Like, Jordan Love is not a Hall of Famer. I can already tell. But he could be good, especially paired with Matt LaFleur.
Yeah, Matt LaFleur is the difference. Like, he's been working on this roster for a while. He's like, we have Aaron Rodgers. He wins 2 MVPs, but I'm still like working towards my thing.
Yeah.
And he's got this well-built, young unit. Yeah. All the receivers are young. All the running backs are young.
Amazing.
Jordan Love's young.
Amazing receiver depth.
Yeah.
If it wasn't Dobbs, it was Melton, like Wicks, Don Travian Wicks, Jalen Reed. Every week was another guy.
They rebuilt the team while having a good team. Only the Packers can pull this crap off.
Right.
But receiving wise, like the people you just listed off, fantastic. We even left Watson off the list. He was hurt most of the year.
He says his hamstrings are balanced now, FYI.
They're balanced. Okay. Well, we'll see about that. He might be a hamstring problem every year type of guy. Julio Jones.
Yeah. Hey, Julio had 10 good years.
Yeah. But always had hamstring problems.
True.
I do like Matt LaFleur's got this offense rolling. There's different counters to each play that he calls. Like he calls the play and he knows the options. Like it's not just very predictable. I think Josh Jacobs coming in is a really good fit for this team. He's complimentary to Aaron Jones.
Where's Aaron Jones at?
Minnesota.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, but
comparable.
Comparable. But he is like he's gonna fit right in.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he'll be fine. Josh Jacobs is a better pass catcher than we think, but he's going to work well off of play actions.
Yeah.
And I think his career has been kind of buried in Las Vegas with the Raiders.
I agree with that.
With bad quarterback play and bad coaching.
Yeah.
So him with actual coaching, like I can see this guy kind of flourishing in an offense like this.
How old is Jake? Is this his 6th year, 5th year, 6th year?
He's young. He's like 26, 27 maybe.
I always get worried, like a running back on a second team. It's kind of like following a hippie to a second location. You just don't do it.
Yeah, just that is
It's a Grateful Dead thing in a book I was reading. Never follow a hippie to a second location.
I like that.
And the youth on defense as well.
Yeah,
I mean it's all sorts of,
and that's been where all their free agency has been looking at that.
They brought in
Xavier McKinney,
safety from the Giants.
Oh, that's such a good pickup. Man, that's a good pickup,
especially with the youth that is there. They have so many young guys. Obviously, Jair Alexander is a vet at corner, but outside of that, there's a lot of young guys. Defensive line, linebacker, secondary. They fired their defense coordinator, Joe Barry.
Okay,
now
that was smart.
I think Packers fans. Generally a smart fan base, spoiled fan base, but a smart fan base.
Yes.
The last time that they were just frothing at the mouth about a defensive coordinator was right before they won the Super Bowl. And they fired a guy basically from fan pressure. They brought in Dom Capers and they won the 2010 Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I think that is like the type of frothing that has happened here with Joe Barry. They were so mad at him.
Right.
So they brought in someone else who is going to switch us from 3-4 to 4-3, which is the opposite of what they did in 2010, by the way. They're
Jeff Hafley,
Boston College head coach.
Yeah.
So just the full sail change. I like it. Shake it up completely. You have all these good players. Why weren't you good? Shake it up completely. Yeah. There's something here in Green Bay on the defensive side.
Yeah, the system wasn't working. I just love the youth. The fact that they had some success last year kind of reminds me of Detroit the year before.
Yeah.
Where they're like, hey, we got to 9-8. Detroit missed the playoffs, but here Green Bay did make it and won a game. But
Detroit's like, we had to wait 50 years for this. Why is Green Bay just getting it again?
Just get it right off the bat. I mean, I like the youth. I love the coach. They're just a really well-run franchise. And they bring in the right pieces. Xavier McKinney is going to be an absolute star in that defense. We're going to be talking about him all year.
Yeah.
He's really good.
I like him.
Yeah.
9.5, though, is the over-under. So you've got to believe in Jordan Love. 9.5's not good defense number.
Yeah.
You got to believe in Jordan Love to take this over. What do you think?
I mean, I've kind of been a Jordan Love believer. I was last year. I do think he's risky, takes some, just some shots that he shouldn't. But that works in Green Bay for some reason. Worked for Aaron Rodgers, worked for Brett Favre. Yeah. Why not? Of course it's going to work for Jordan Love. I'm going over.
All right.
I think this team's building in the right direction. And then just LaFleur's finally got the team that he wanted. I feel like he didn't have it for a long time. It was Aaron Rodgers' team, and he was just kind of waiting for this opportunity, and now he's got it. So I'm excited about what Green Bay is going to put out on the field this year. I can see 10 wins. Okay. That doesn't seem too hard for me.
Yeah. I'm going to go under. We're going to disagree on this one again, just as we did the Lions. I do think if there's a path, it's Matt LaFleur getting great play out of Jordan Love with his new offense.
You're not a Love believer.
I'm not a Love believer, and I would love to see some stars step up. I know it's fun to talk about all the different Packers receivers, but somebody step up and be a star here. Someone step up and be a Devontae Adams, or Sterling Sharp or Donald Driver, Jordy Nelson. Somebody be one of those guys.
Yeah.
And they don't really have that. Christian Watson ain't staying on the field. Hamstring injury week 3. Bucket it.
Yeah.
I mean, just fine. But
give me some Romeo Dobbs, my man.
Yeah. That's a high number for a team that's never done it.
I know, right?
That's a high number. I'm going to take the under just because they set it so high.
They were one drive away from making the NFC Championship game, and inevitably they would have beat the Lions.
But to me, they felt like the fluky team getting hot. Yeah. Not like regular Green Bay. They felt more like a 2007 Giants type of thing, or 2012 Seahawks, or they didn't feel like they had it. And I feel what's baked into this 9.5 is Jordan Love is Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. That people are thinking that
they've already thrown that. He's already been called a Hall of Famer now.
Yeah, and
he's played 1 year.
And the contract that Love just got is getting all these articles again. Sports Illustrated is posting their AI articles, and we're having the news cycle again, talk about Jordan Love as the successor to Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to take the under because I just don't think that is what is happening here.
Okay. I kind of like that. And we have thrown caution to the wind on some things about offensive line.
Yeah.
Green Bay's offensive line isn't like something you like really talk about and think that's good.
Agreed.
It's more system is helping them out. So that is their weak spot. Yeah, but I do think this team is good enough. I think they got an easy enough schedule this year to pull it off. Yeah. I mean, they're playing AFC South as well, so that's going to help.
Yeah, these like LaFleur, McVay, Shanahan schemes.
They'll take their lumps. I mean, I'm not talking like 13-3 just running away with things. Like some people are talking about Green Bay being Super Bowl contenders. I'm like, let's just hold the horses a little bit. But I do think they're definitely good enough to get 10 wins.
All right. Well, let's see if we agree on the Bears because we're 0 for 2 here.
We're 0 for 2, man.
We don't have to agree, though. That's not the point of the podcast.
And we must agree on everything.
Chicago Bears, 7-10 last year. Almost irrelevant because it's a completely new team.
Right.
8.5 over-under. And I think the consensus is the Bears, won the offseason, basically.
Yes.
They got Keenan Allen, which is a big deal for a lot of people. They drafted Caleb Williams. And then in the draft, what the opposite of the Penix bafflement of everybody reacting to the fact that the Falcons picked Penix at 8.
Yeah.
The opposite and equal and opposite reaction was the Bears getting Odunze at 9, wide receiver out of the Huskies. Just should not have been there at 9. And the Bears felt like they left the draft with a playoff team.
Right.
That's what it feels like to everybody. That's why they're 8.5 over under.
They've won the last 2 off seasons.
Yeah,
honestly, they just fleeced the Panthers, and that's how they end up with Caleb Williams.
Stupid Panthers.
But I mean, they're just building a nice, solid team here. You gotta be excited to have the number 1 overall pick with those 3 receivers: Allen, Moore, and Odunze.
Right.
There was a little thing on the Giants Hard Knocks thing.
Yeah.
They're talking about the Bears kind of wanted an offensive lineman. They were thinking about trading up for that to the Giants pick.
Okay.
So they kind of were trying to look to solidify the offensive line a little bit more.
Yeah.
But then they settled for an awesome receiver, which is hard to say settle.
Yeah. That sucks.
and really the only problem with the Bears right now is the offensive line.
Yeah.
Can they keep Caleb Williams healthy? They're going to give him enough time to throw to DJ Moore and Odunze because 100% convinced that Keenan Allen will not make it through the year. Yeah. I've been saying that since they signed him.
You have.
It's guaranteed he's going down.
Yeah. It's really hard to evaluate Keenan Allen as because you keep saying that. It just feels like it's just true.
I know, right? But it just seems like it's bound to happen.
It feels like this is written already in stone.
Going from a nice comfy LA where he's just the number 1 target and he's going to go to Soldier Field and just tear his ACL.
Yeah. And
and
he's had Phillip Rivers and Justin Herbert his whole life. Yeah. Though Caleb Williams, I do think Caleb Williams is going to be pretty good. He hit off-platform throws. Like you mentioned, the offensive line. I'm not as worried about the Bears' offensive line. I'm willing to just let last year go.
At least mediocre.
Yeah. Because Justin Fields is an offensive line's worst nightmare.
Scramble first.
Scramble and just his time to decision is so long.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams is not that. Caleb Williams is creativity. He honestly, everyone talks about the USC Heisman season, 2022 season.
Yeah.
But the 23 season, because the defense sucked so bad, we got to see the maximum Caleb Williams powers. It led to some he shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah. But he had to force it, And
it was amazing. He's an amazing quarterback.
When you look at those 6 quarterbacks that were drafted in the top 12 picks, Caleb Williams is the one clear number 1. The throws he makes into tight coverage.
Balance too.
Most of these guys' throws, the guy's got 5 yards of separation.
I know.
He's hitting guys. He's making good reads on tight coverage.
Exactly.
And he's making the throw. That's an NFL quarterback. So I agree with you. Caleb Williams is going to be just fine.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels better hope that everyone is wide open because otherwise he's going to be like, wait, this is a little different.
Yeah.
But Caleb Williams, man. And I keep saying the off-balance thing, but it is so exciting. And it opens up so much. And I feel like the Bears offensive line is just going to play the exact same, but get praise because of the change of quarterback.
Right. Just because the quarterback, just a couple of different weapons and they'll get there.
But it's hard to throw the ball in Chicago.
Yeah.
It's windy.
They've never had a good quarterback.
They've never had a good receiver.
Yeah. Right. Like DJ Moore going off last year. They're like, oh my God.
Do you know, in the Super Bowl era, do you know who the leading Bears receiver is of all time?
Oh, it's got to be
career stats.
Somebody recently.
Yeah, it's Alshon Jeffrey.
Really?
With 4,500 yards.
Wow.
Only 11 more yards than running back Walter Payton. Curtis Conway is number 3. Matt Forte is number 4. To put that in perspective,
Matt Forte's fourth in receiving.
Yeah, for the Chicago Bears.
Unbelievable.
To put that in context, those are all those Alshon Jeffrey at 4,500 yards. The Packers in the Super Bowl era have 12 guys over 6,000 yards.
Oh, 12.
They have 5 guys over 7,500 yards. Again, the Bears don't have anyone over 4,500 yards. And the reason is, it's because it's windy.
Yeah.
It's windy. And if you open it up to pre-Super Bowl, the Bears leader is Johnny Morris with 5,000 yards. He's not even close to the top 250 in the NFL history.
Yeah.
The 250th guy is 500 more yards.
Man.
It's windy. That there is no way statistically that it's just like LOL Bears never have a good passing offense. There is something
tough stadium.
actually happening in that stadium to create this. It windy.
Yeah. And I am rooting for this to be a good offense because I've never seen a good Bears offense. Like we're talking like Jay Cutler was like elite for the Bears offense.
For the Bears.
And that was like that's pathetic.
Yeah.
But like I'm hoping like this team can get some points, get something going because it's always been defense. They're still riding high off their 85 Super Bowl win, and
they are.
Sorry, but we're talking almost 4 decades ago.
That's the year I was born.
Yeah,
and I'm 39.
Okay, yeah. So we're talking 4 decades, and they're still rooting about that one time you won a Super Bowl because of a good defense. They need this offense to work out. I really hope it does because GM, he's built a good team.
Yeah.
Like this team is getting there. But
thank you, Panthers.
You have to look on the other side of the ball because while their offense might start doing good, their defense has been slipping.
Yeah.
For like a good 7 years now. And everybody's talking about Montez Sweat coming in, being the huge difference maker and whatnot. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of holes. Yep. There's a lot of holes in that secondary. They're going to get carved up by Lions and Packers. Like, this is still a bad Bears defense.
I like the secondary a little bit more.
You do? Okay.
Jalen Johnson is going to be a star.
They got no linebackers, and it's just Montez Sweat on the line.
Free agent busts in that linebacker. They only have Montez Sweat. Yeah, the front seven is bad.
It's tough. It's tough. The defense is going to be. It's going to be rough. This team is going to be competing in games, but I think the defense is going to be letting them down in some games. And hopefully, Caleb Williams is that dude. Hopefully, Eberflus is actually a good coach and has some good plans that end the games. I mean,
we'll see.
This is definitely an Eberflus season. Like, is he actually a good coach or not?
If Eberflus wants a tip from me about how to run his defense, use the wind.
It's all about the coin toss
why the Bears,
and which side of the field you go.
This is why the Bears have so many good defenses. It's the wind.
They've been using the
I
wind.
swear to God, I've figured out the whole Bears history here. It's the wind.
Yeah, Lovie Smith knew how to work that.
Why do they keep having good defenses?
Because of the wind, Soldier Field.
The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind.
They should just play that to start the games.
All right, 8.5 over under. This feels like an easy under for me.
You think so?
I feel people want to bet Caleb Williams. They want to bet Odunze, Keenan Allen. I feel like the line is high because people are pumped. So I don't want to pay. They already went up from 7.5 to 8.5 in the offseason here.
Yeah. So
that's rare that a team opens, and goes. So you're paying for a whole win just because people are hyped. Yeah, I'll take. I'm a huge fan of Caleb Williams, but I'll take the under.
I think there'll be progress this year. Giving him 9 wins, that's a little tough for me, especially with my prediction of Keenan Allen being hurt.
Because so much uncertainty.
If you just took Keenan Allen out of the picture and you're just talking DJ Moore and Odunze with the rookie quarterback and no real running backs, I mean, DeAndre Swift, get out of here.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah, he's a three-headed monster, and it's not even a good three-headed monster. But I think, I might have to slide to under.
Okay.
I'm rooting for them a little bit.
Yeah, me too.
I'd like to see a good Bears team because they got good fans. I mean, I love the Bears. Just like Chicago, I can always kind of root for them.
Yeah,
but
that's why I've liked doing the Norths here because this is like
these
the
are
best
classic,
fan bases.
classic
Midwest.
teams. Yeah, the battle, the legacies.
I don't want to talk about the spoiled Broncos fans or the non-existent Chargers fans.
Yeah.
Or the front-running Chiefs fans.
I don't care about Tennessee. I mean, how loyal are they?
Not even there.
Yeah. So,
now we're talking the good stuff.
Yeah, now we got it going.
Yeah.
But so I'm rooting for the Bears a little bit, but I think they'll show progress this year. We'll figure out Caleb Williams actually is a good quarterback, and we'll see if they can hit 3 off seasons in a row and rebuild that defense somehow. Because I think once Williams proves himself, it's all about can we actually get a defense going with it.
Yeah.
But defense is going to let them down sometimes this season. It's going to be hard to watch.
I'm glad that their primetime game is like week 2. Don't give us a Bears primetime game in like week 18. Let's watch Caleb Williams early on.
Right.
All right, Minnesota Vikings 7-10, 7-10 last year, 6.5 over under this year. Kirk Cousins has departed. The Kirk Cousins era was fun. You got one playoff win, and it seemed like it was always like in Pro Football Reference. It'll look like Kirk Cousins was like elite the whole time. Just never felt like that.
Everybody hated him the whole time until he got hurt, and everyone's like, he was having a great year.
Yeah. And he was. But,
of
course he got hurt.
The whole narrative of his career was he can't beat good teams.
Yeah.
But why would you get rid of a Kirk? Come on. As a Kirk, I'm ashamed of that.
The Vikings, like the Packers, have adopted, I think, pretty successfully this Shanahan-McVay tree.
Yep.
Brought in Kevin O'Connell. So there's some excitement there that maybe it wasn't as much Kirk Cousins as it was this new system coming in. But what they've brought to replace Kirk Cousins can pretty rightfully be considered to be the worst quarterback situation in the league. Maybe with the Broncos and Raiders.
Raiders, they're right there with them.
Yeah. Sam Darnold, former number 3 overall pick in 2018.
Who's been on 3 different teams. This is his 4th team.
And J.J. McCarthy, who handed off to the defending champion, or the college champion Michigan Wolverines.
These people and their J.J. McCarthy hype, it just baffles me. This guy never made a good throw in his entire college career. Can you remember him hitting anybody in tight coverage? Good, everybody is wide freaking open.
A lot of great rollouts, but mostly open.
They're wide open. He's never hitting a guy like having to make a good tough catch. So I feel bad for Justin Jefferson if they throw McCarthy out there like that. And just McCarthy's cute. All the girls like McCarthy. He's got the TikTok followers and the Instagram whatevers, and he's
some jealousy here.
And he's meditating on the field. I just hate. He's classic pretty boy quarterback, and I'm just waiting for him to just get pounded into the dirt. Just pound this guy into the dirt. He's a joke. He shouldn't have been a first-round pick. It's ridiculous. The only good thing coming out of college was he wins games. Nobody talks about his intangibles. Nobody says, he's a good prototypical quarterback. He wins games. They said the same thing about Tim Tebow. Said the same thing about Johnny Manziel. Same thing about Jamarcus Russell. Are we really giving J.J. McCarthy the benefit of the doubt here just because he's a winning quarterback? He's not going to be a good NFL quarterback. I can put my life savings on it.
Life savings on it,
man.
All right. Well, I will. First of all,
that's my rant.
Yeah. Okay. I'll first. Man, no one thought Manziel was a good pick, so I'm gonna but Tebow, I'll go with. But Manziel, everyone knew that was a absolute.
Okay.
But I also don't like. I don't like the meditating on the field.
Right.
We know Uncle Daryl doesn't like that either. As we talked to him about that during my son's first birthday party. J.J. McCarthy, just why can't you meditate in the locker room, dude?
Right?
Why you got to get the camera?
He's looking for the publicity.
He's got his eye open. Is the camera on me? Is the camera on me?
And that's
it is annoying.
I feel like that's what he's worried about.
But if he can do something, it's the Purdy type of. I mean, this is the right offense for him to be in.
That's what you're hoping for.
Yeah.
You're hoping you wasted a first-round pick on a guy that was Mr. Irrelevant. That's your comparison. So,
that's bad that the comparison is a 7th-round quarterback. But this system is friendly to quarterbacks, and his type is the type that is friendly to. Can we pivot to Sam Darnold, though? Like, maybe there's some juice in this.
I do like Sam
Quarterback,
Darnold.
there are people holding on to Sam Darnold since 2018. And people held on to Geno Smith for the 5 years he was off in nowhere land.
Oh, yeah.
And then they got their glory in 2021. Could Darnold...
I think
do it for a little while.
He came out, had terrible coaching situation.
Yeah, Adam Gase. The worst you could possibly
And then
have.
he moves to Carolina. Terrible.
Yep.
And then, of course, he's back up in San Fran.
Which might help him here.
Which might help him because it's a Shanahan offense. He's moving with O'Connell. Mm-hmm. I like that. If they start Darnold, which they should, I think there's some hope there. Because Darnold can still win you some games. Darnold could still game manage this crap. And with the weapons that they have, I think Darnold will know how to use them better than McCarthy will.
Yeah.
He'll know how to find those pockets. He'll throw some actual tough passes. Justin Jefferson's not always wide open.
Yeah. I wish we could see Darnold the whole year, but I don't think he's going to get enough wins to not be replaced by McCarthy at some point. Like, everyone knows, well, they sat Mahomes. Yeah, because they were 8-2. And,
they were already a playoff team.
They weren't, the Chiefs weren't sitting Mahomes if the Chiefs weren't going into the playoffs that year. Jordan Love, you sat him. Well, you didn't sit him if Aaron Rodgers
wasn't winning
bounced
2
back
MVPs.
And won MVP. Yeah, you wouldn't have sat him. What you have to do to sit your rookie quarterback is win. And I don't think that's really going to happen for Sam Darnold and this roster as it is.
I mean, the weapons are there. If they can figure out who's the good quarterback, if there is a good quarterback, I think it's more Darnold than McCarthy because I hate McCarthy. I'll just reiterate that
I'm rooting so hard for Darnold and rooting to not waste a Justin Jefferson season.
Yeah.
We got a prime Justin Jefferson season. He's already got 6,000 yards, by the way. Remember, we just talked about the Bears don't even have anyone for 4,500.
It's just insulting.
Justin Jefferson's going into his 5th year.
And he's already got it. Yeah. Justin Jefferson's, clearly top 5 receiver. Don't waste him. Addison proved himself to be pretty dang well last year. I mean, and the Hawkinson's a good tight end. He's not like an elite like everybody was hoping he would be, but he's still there.
And of course, in typical Kirk Cousins fashion, the offensive line only finally got good when he got hurt.
I know, right?
Which is just, it's so Kirk Cousins. You just have to scream.
But they are weak at running back. I mean, Aaron Jones, I don't think is a big threat coming here. He's getting old. There's a reason the Packers got rid of him. So I'm a little worried about the balance of this team. It's going to be all pass. I don't see them just grinding out games, which is something that they probably should have to do with the quarterbacks that they have.
Yeah. There could be a good defense here. I'm going to get to my positive part of the Vikings. Brian Flores, I think there could be a sneaky good year. The headline is he blitzed more than anyone ever last year. Right. But there's just a gem of a good defense. It feels like he wants to bring unpredictableness. And I feel like that doesn't always have to be confusing blitzes. To be able to do the blitz heavy and the non-blitz heavy, that's the next step. Brian Flores is a head coach type of talent.
Oh, yeah.
He's a defensive coordinator on this team, which has a great, in my opinion, Kevin O'Connell is a great offensive mind.
Yeah.
Or he's shown it with the last 2 years with Kirk Cousins, in my opinion. And Flores got to kind of pick his own guys. This is the first year, sure, Daniil Hunter is gone, Davenport is gone, but Jordan Hicks, is gone. And now Jonathan Greenyard and Van Ginkel. It's all kind of a wash on paper.
Same types of players,
But Flores wanted these guys. Why? He got Blake Cashman from Houston. That's the fit. I just feel like that there's something that could be done from Brian Flores here that could create a good defense. These good defenses come out of nowhere. They're a weird soup that comes out, and it usually stems from a great scheme and a great coach. I don't know.
I will give you that. I do like the defense. I love Brian Flores. I think he should be a head coach. But and since we've talked about this whole division already, I'd say they have the best defense, Vikings-wise.
Really?
I mean, they're probably better than the Lions and the Packers and the Bears. That's a good defensive crew right there. They're zigging while everybody else is zagging.
Yeah,
so.
They and the Packers have a good soup going.
Yeah.
Lions, not sure. They have a more uncertain stew. It's kind of got the really fresh ingredients that could go bad.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever heard the Mark Knopfler song "Old Pigweed."
Oh, have you heard of it?
Yeah. Check it out. Who put old pigweed in the mulligan stew? You don't know what those lines, but we're getting loopy at the end of our 8th division. This is our 32nd team here.
I never thought we'd drop that as a reference.
I didn't think old pigweed was coming out from the 2006 album. I can't remember what it's called.
That's fantastic.
All right, over under 6.5.
Oh man, 6.5.
Low number.
Man, that is low.
I mean, that's the Darnold McCarthy number. That, like, Raiders and Broncos, we are talking about the worst quarterback situation in the league.
Yeah, it is really bad. But you got weapons. If they go Darnold early, I think they can get over. I could see them getting 7, but I feel like they'll go McCarthy too early. So I'm going under.
Nice.
Going under. Vikings are going to be in trouble. Jefferson's going to be pissed. You know, I mean, I do like this team. I like the coaches. So it's not out of the realm that they're like in there competing and whatnot, because the Vikings generally never have a bad year. They're always around 500. Yeah. They never really tank. But I don't know. You know what? Yeah, I changed my mind. I'm going 7. They can win 7.
It's a low number. Yeah. It's hard to get under that. I'm taking the over too because of all the stuff I said about Brian Flores.
Okay,
I think I'm just going to go with that.
Is that our first agreement on this? We agree on Chicago.
We agreed on Chicago. Okay. We pulled it out.
So Chicago and Minnesota are going like 7 and 10.
Okay. Well, who's winning the division? I guess it's really a Packers and Lions decision based on our over-under.
And I feel like I'm more Packers.
And I'm more Lions.
I can see it. This is just, Packers are going to host the Lions in a, in a playoff game, and Lions are going to lose in Lambeau.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be hard to watch.
Exactly. Hard to watch. What is this waking life?
Where are we going in this wondrous world?
Why are the Packers torturing the Lions?
Right.
And the Lions nothing nice can happen. They were going to the Super Bowl.
They were there.
We were thinking realistically about the Lions in the Super Bowl, and we watched it. That's still one of the hardest second halves I have ever, non-Seahawk games I've ever watched.
Oh, yeah.
Part of it is because it's the 49ers, but oh, that hurt. I didn't even want to do the podcast that night.
That was brutal.
Golly, poor Lions losing that NFC title game like that. Though, and now that I look back on it, they really didn't even really deserve that lead.
Yeah, they got off to a really hot start.
Yeah,
which
the
was
49ers
wonderful.
were the better team. They were the better team.
But I'll say I'm rooting for Detroit, but I think the Packers are going to win this division this year.
And I'm going. Yeah,
it's a good battle.
It is.
I don't know when they play each other.
Oh yeah, look that up.
Let's see. Their last game is December 5th, Thursday night.
Okay,
so that's right after Thanksgiving, I think.
Okay, so that's late.
And Green Bay. Let's see. November 3rd.
So they play really close to each other.
Really close, right there in the middle.
I didn't say
like
what weeks those are there.
No, I didn't say weeks. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, just says the dates. I think that's like week 8 or 9.
Yeah.
They get a bye, and then we're talking like week 14 again.
Any prime time on there?
Just Thursday nighter.
Right.
Yeah. It doesn't say what it is. Yeah.
Lions, Packers, or Ravens, Bengals. Those two like North battles. We get 4 of those games.
Yeah.
Those are some of the games I'm most excited for.
They're circled on the calendar.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, I mean, that's a good battle, good division.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll keep my eyes on these North teams. So yeah,
we did it.
We got through all 8 divisions, all 32 teams.
We talked for about 7.5 hours about 32 teams. We don't know anything. And we just started talking. We don't know shit.
I know. And I feel like I'm going to change my mind by the time September comes around.
That should be our next episode. We obviously still have to pick our Super Bowls and everything like that.
Yeah.
We should also have an episode where now, as the weeks get going here, what we want to change from what we said in these 8 episodes.
Yeah, I like that. And then picking playoff teams and Super Bowl winners. Yeah.
And I keep forgetting to do this. In 8 whole episodes, I have not mentioned our Facebook or Twitter at Muck, MUK_football. Let us know what you think.
Yeah. We'll leave that
at the end of
the 8th episode.
That's some feedback for me. There should be in the regular episodes. I have that moment
Yeah.
You
just rattle that off right in the beginning.
rattle it off in the beginning. So we're just getting warmed up here.
Yeah. And hopefully you appreciated that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't like it when they go, just subscribe to this and blah, blah, blah.
I know,
That bugs me sometimes.
And my least favorite thing is when they start talking about what they ate for dinner that day.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
we're getting pizza.
Yeah,
we leave that till the end.
How can I get these people talking about football?
Yeah.
This podcast talks about football and Mark Knopfler, old pigweed.
Yes. Oh, the old pigweed.
Check it out, folks.
This is gonna be a good season.
It is.
I got a good
stuff.
feeling for this one.
All right. My name's Miles.
I'm Kirk.
And we'll see you next time.